Alrighty, folks. Chris, when we get together there soon, it's good to be back. It's been 2 weeks and 2 days since the surgery. It's healing well. It's coming along well. I graduate each week. I can add in a new food a little bit at a time, you know, until after 6 weeks or so, 7 weeks, I'll be back to most normal food. All right, so Chris, I know this has got a, whatever the tone, I don't care about the tone. This is a tube-driven transistor amp, I don't know, whatever. So I didn't tweak the sound. It's my first time plugging in since I got home. I just started picking the guitar up again. So we're going to do, this is what I'm going to go over with you, Chris. For starters, because you already can play them, but just to make sure you can go up and down every piece of the pentatonic. We're going to use D minor. I know you like D minor. But this applies to any key. And this is for all of you who watch this, obviously. Because I'm going to post it on YouTube so I can shrink it down and email it to somebody. So we're going to do D minor. No, I threw in that major third. All right, so D minor pentatonic, right? This is #1 box. So, but we're going to start with #2 box. So your #1 box, if someone says pentatonic in whatever key, the #1 box is always the one, that familiar shape almost everyone knows. That shape. If I said #1 box in G minor, do that same shape here, right? Or if I said it in B, it'd be that same shape, you'd move it to B. So anyways, my point being, that's your #1 box is the box or scale position, whatever you want to call it, of the pentatonic would be whatever key you're talking about. #1 box for E would be, or it would be the box that starts with that root note. In this case, D. The second box for D starts with the F note, okay? And this is the way it is for the shape of that box. This is going to be important. There's a shape to the second block, and that shape is the same no matter what key you play it out of. There's a shape to second block of D minor. It starts with an F note, and it's actually an F major pentatonic because the D minor pentatonic comes from F major, okay? All right, but see the shape. Now if I land on the D, it all of a sudden goes from that F major flavor to D minor. You see, if I go back to the D, then now it's become D minor flavor, right? But it's, so now we're going to start at the lowest point on the fretboard that we can. So for this key, the lowest point is starting with the F note. So it's going to be the same shape as the one we just did here. You know, so what gives it the D minor flavor is the note you start with and end on out of any one of these blocks. So we start with the F. This is the same shape as that one we did just now there. But see here, we got an open A, and then a C, open D, and then an F. Well, up here, it's the open A that we did down there is at the 12th fret up here. All right, and then of course, So that we're starting at the lowest point. So here we go, starting with block 2 for D minor, starts with that F note. Alright, so that's number 2 block shape, okay? So if you get that shape down and you remember that, after that first shape, your main number 1 shape, there's that shape to that one, and now you can move them 2 shapes to any other key, and the shapes are the same, you know, you just move them. So number 3 block, or shape, for D is this shape, starting with the G note. 3 strings in a row on the number 3 block, and the reason why I keep saying the number 3 block is because if I played the same pentatonic in A, its number 3 block would be that's the same shape we're doing here. The number 3 pentatonic block or shape is the same no matter what key you go to. It just moves for that key. So once you tie together number 1 block, number 2 block, and now the number 3 one, here's the shape for it. And you should learn to play it with these fingers. It's really important, and there's a reason why. A lot of people want to skip. Well, can I do this instead? Yeah, everybody, I told this to one student before, and I think he quit a few years ago. I said, yeah, you can always cheat and go and find an easier way to play something, but then you never develop to that other level. You're always going to stay the same because you're always looking for, well, I can play that over here. But there's a whole difference on the notes. You know, whether sometimes when you move something somewhere, the notes are thinner, they're on different strings, all that. So you want to learn these just the way I'm showing them. So here's your number 3 block shape for D minor. And you use a middle finger, baby finger, starting at the G note. All 3 strings there are the same. Now when I solo, if I'm soloing, I don't use those fingers. Maybe. But you want to learn to do this, and I'll tell you down the road in another video why it's beneficial. So, middle finger, baby finger. And now you can go to the A note over here without moving your hand to get there. And then that's the A to a C. You should learn what the notes are. As you do these, learn what the notes are. A, C, and then you step over to the D, F. And then a G and an A. See how I stepped over here? Alright, so alright, and then so that's number 2 block, I just showed you. Number 3 block. And we're gonna now we're gonna do number 4 block. You start with the A note, and the shape is this: first finger, baby finger twice. First finger, third finger, first finger, third finger, middle finger, baby finger, first finger, fourth finger. All right. And then, so that's your 4th block. Now the last block, the 5th block, has this shape to it. You start with your middle finger on the C note. We're doing all D minor pentatonic right now. And I'll show you why. So that's middle finger, baby finger, twice. then first finger, baby finger. See, so it's automatic. You're not moving your fingers to get to any particular fret. You watch, I'm not moving my hand. I'm using this finger's for anything that needs to be played on that fret. This finger's for anything on this fret. This one's for anything on that fret. This is for anything on that one. The only one where we got to move over is on the number 3 block, and it's that way no matter what key you do it in. All right, so back to number 4 block, starting at C. Now when you solo, if you create a certain phrase, when you start hearing things by practicing these, you start coming up with, oh, there's a cool riff idea. Well, then use the fingers you want to use to execute that phrase that you've come up with. But for practice sake and development sake, these fingers are I almost call it law. Use these fingers for this, just because it's for development. All right, so now that's number 4 block. Then you get to your number 1 block. All right, so there you go, and then you just repeat it. And then start playing, so get those so you can walk up. What I always used to do, and I still do it when I pick the guitar up, even though I'm still healing and I'm not up to par at all or anything, but I still, if I pick up the guitar upstairs not plugged in, and I'm gonna noodle around with stuff, because I've been playing a lot of jazz type stuff, and when I pick the guitar up, I like to go. Whoops, sorry, I just screwed up. I forgot what key I'm in. Hold on. Alright, so there you go. That's what we'll go over. It won't take you long to get that down, because you already can rip it up in your pentatonics very, very well. But you have certain trails that you favor. We all do. We all have things where we've created phrases and stuff that we like, and those are the trails we favor. But if you do these, you'll start coming up with more. In other words, this gives you all that's available instead of a decent amount of what's available. It gives you all of what's available, and that's what you want. So there you go, and then they repeat themselves. And then we'll get into, there's different counts you can do. What this is going to do, it's just going to take something you already can do and just get you the rest of it, kind of the rest of what you've been playing out of. Make more stuff in that, what you've been playing, available to you, to your ear and to your fingers. And then there's counts. I've taught this before, you know, with the, you know, or hammer and porter. I'm not up on it because I ain't been playing. And the 6 count stuff. That kind of stuff. You know, that kind of thing. That's just doing a specific 6 count and back to the root note. There's tons of those. But in the process of it, you not only develop, you're also finding more riffs, more things you can add to what you already do with those, you know. So there you go. I don't want to go over 20 minutes, and I got to go start the chicken and all that. But I figured I'd plug in. I haven't plugged in since I got home, and just do a rehash on that. But that's what we'll go over first, is just pick a key and get you so you got all of what's available on the fretboard from top to bottom this way. And then of course you can weave and do whatever you want to create phrases, but it's just going to give you more. You're going to find more that way to add to what you already do. And then we'll do more with that too, beyond that. Or maybe I'll do another video and show the 6. I've done these over the years, the 6 count, 5 count, and all that. But what those are is they create, you're training yourself to have an ability to do them, first of all, but at the same time, you're hearing what they sound like. And then you're going, oh, I like that. And now you're throwing little bits of it, start sprinkling into what you already do. You know what I mean? And we won't even get to the diatonic for a while because, you know, but those 7 scale blocks in the diatonic covers everything. It covers all the, you know, Mixolydian, Ionian, Dorian. And they're not, the Ionian or Dorian's not in one particular block. It's in all 7 blocks. Every mode is in all 7 blocks. It's the notes you start with an end note. So I don't even want to go there yet. That's too much. We'll do that later on. We'll start with the Do, Re, Mi. And we'll go up, and then, you know, it'll open up incredible amounts of more stuff that you can do.